What's going on, guys? We're back with more Tower of Fantasy. Today we've got for you guys some huge leaks. We have the global versions of Claudia and Cobalt-B leaked, and now we know all of their skills, their constellations, and we can see that they both received their elemental resonances. Now, we'll go ahead and talk about what changed with them, if they got buffed or if they got nerfed. So we'll go ahead and start off with Claudia right here, who, in my opinion, is going to be insane. She not only received buffs in the global version, but the global version is also a weaker version compared to the CN version. What do I mean by that? The overworld monsters are actually weaker in the global version. So by that, any unit that is not nerfed is also slightly buffed technically, just because the monsters are weaker in the global version. Now, with that said, what exactly was buffed that makes her so much stronger? Well, first of all, they gave her the elemental resonance for physical, which is what we expected. It seems to be the way that they're going on the global server, which I'm glad they're going this way. It makes team building a lot more easier in the global version if everybody has their elemental resonance. The problem in the CN version is some characters kind of become useless because they do not have that elemental resonance. That's the reason why all of the base characters are so hard to use in the CN version, because they don't have that elemental resonance, so they have to be really strong as well, because you are forced to bring one specific character that fills that elemental resonance. So I'm glad to see that they're giving that to all of the characters now. Now, not only that, but in her multipliers, she also got some minor buffs on her multipliers as well, which is very good because in the CN version, she was kind of outclassed by Mark by quite a bit. And with that said, also, Mark might not even be coming to the global version, so keep that in mind if you guys are trying to save for him instead of her, that he might not even come because he was a collab character in the CN version. So with that said, that raises the Claudia stocks even more, makes her even more desirable and even more of a must pull if you are interested in building a physical type team in Tower of Fantasy. Now, for her constellation skills right here, they're all exactly the same. There's no buffs, there's no nerfs, they're exactly the same as the CN version. So it's likely to say that overall, this version of Claudia is by far stronger and more useful than the CN version. So I'm already saying that this unit right here is going to be a must pull. And if you're on the fence between saving for Frigg or saving for saving for Claudia, I do recommend actually going for Claudia instead, unless you're very interested in pulling an ice specific team. But go ahead and check out my Frigg video if you guys are interested in more info on Frigg. Now let's go ahead and talk about Cobalt-B for just a minute. Cobalt-B got some minor nerfs as well as some minor buffs. So what do I mean by that? She received her elemental resonance for flame resonance as well, who was previously on Ruby. Now it is on Cobalt-B. We'll go ahead and show you guys right here that she did not have that previously. And on Ruby, that is where the flame resonance was before. So that right there is already a 15% attack boost right there. Now, she got a minor nerf in her constellation skills. Specifically, her S3 is going to be the main one that you might notice. There's a 30% attack decrease on the S3. Overall, that's not that big of a nerf. On this site that I'm using, I tried to see her skill nerfs so I could see if there's any changes to her skills, but they don't have her skill multipliers on here. So I can't tell you guys if that's nerfed. If you guys can let me know in the comments down below if she got her skills nerfed as well, then that might change my opinion on her a little bit. But as of right now, we can see that her Constellation 5 got a minor nerf as well, and her Constellation 6 seems to be about the same. So her 3 and her 5's the only two changes, so not too bad considering Frigg got some massive changes. These two characters are a lot better and looking a lot nicer compared to the Frigg, in my opinion. However, like I said, if you guys are interested in building one specific team, that might be up to you then if you were interested in pulling for Frigg. However, for these two characters, they're both looking way better, and if you guys are on the fence about your summons, what you should save for, what you should pull for, from right now, from what we're seeing on these characters right here, I actually believe Claudia is going to be the winner here, guys. If you guys are investing in Shiro, if you guys are saving up for Claudia, I think that is a very good thing to be doing right now, and a very strong way to be preparing for the future. With that also said, keep in mind that there is also some other characters coming out. As you see right here, we have Ruby coming out, as I mentioned previously. Ruby also is a fire DPS character who will most likely also be having the Flame Resonance skill. So with that in mind, you might want to be looking into how they're played. I say look into how they're played more so than the tier lists of them, because at the end of the day, this game's not the most difficult thing where you need to min-max the tier list. I think it's more about fun at the end of the day. You can make any character strong by pulling more dupes of them, for example, and by just giving them better gear. So go ahead and check out some gameplay videos on those, in my opinion, see which one you prefer, because if you're not interested in Cobalt-B, then go ahead and pull Ruby. She most likely will also have that elemental resonance. So Cobalt-B I have as second on the most pull, on the highest priority to pull, Claudia being number 1, and Frigg being on the bottom of the list. And believe it or not, I believe the way that they're going to be coming out with these summons is going to be in the opposite order of what I recommended. I think they're going to go Frigg, which we already know they're going to go Frigg, and then they're going to go Cobalt-B, and then they're going to go Claudia. That's my prediction. They could do Claudia first. I hope they do Claudia first, because I'm actually working on powering up my Shiro right now, so that way I can make a really strong physical team. But another reason why I'm also suggesting you guys save for Claudia specifically is if we look at the released characters, again, Claudia is the only physical DPS besides Shiro in the game right now. And Shiro is more of a shield breaker, to be honest, than a DPS character. So with that in mind, if you are planning on ever building a strong physical team, you're going to need that Claudia. However, if you plan on building a strong fire team, Ruby might be able to substitute for Cobalt-B. And if you're trying to build an ice team, you could substitute Frigg out for Tsubasa, because most likely Sakifua will be getting the ice elemental resonance. So with that said, Claudia basically does not have a replacement as of right now. So keep that in mind before you guys waste your summons, that Claudia is going to be the strongest physical DPS in the game, not only in the CN version, but in our version, because there's a very, very high chance that we do not receive Mark in our version of the game, because he was a collab character, and licensing issues on that might be a little more difficult than a original character such as Claudia. So with all that said, guys, I hope you guys learned something today. I hope you guys start saving for Claudia, in my opinion, a must-pull unit, and go ahead and skip Frigg. I know you guys might not want to skip Frigg, but if you guys are planning on staying free to play in this game, I believe Claudia is going to be a very strong unit that must be pulled, way stronger than Frigg. Now, with all that said, guys, I hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.